Good Shabbos, a peaceful Sabbath to you all. Thank you. The mystery of the candy. So when Ari and Matthew come up to have their blessing at the Torah, you'll get a signal from those in the crowd, but after the reading is done and they've said their second blessing and I've given them a blessing, the custom is to gently toss candy toward them. The symbolism is that they should have a sweet marriage, that it should be nothing but wonderful for them. So hold on to the candy and we'll give you the signal when it's time to throw it. I wanted to introduce the Torah portion. The section we're reading today is all the gifts that the chieftains brought when they were dedicating the tabernacle and they were opening up for business. Now, one might think that this Torah portion is dry because the 12 princes give the same gifts and we get to read it 12 times. But it's really interesting. So this week, in lieu of a sermon after the Torah readings, I've decided to, before each aliyah, pose a question for us to help focus our learning while we're reading along with the Torah, and then we'll have a small discussion between each aliyah to really bring out that there is no piece of Torah that is uninteresting. For example, Rashi raises the question, well, look, if all 12 princes were giving the same gift, why does the Torah need to list it 12 times? Why doesn't it just say, the 12 princes each brought the same gift and here's what it was? Why doesn't it say it once? Well, it wants to emphasize the way that the princes were representing their people. When we first started reading about the gifts that were brought to build the Mishkan in Exodus, it really focuses on the common man, not the chieftains. So the chieftains wait till the whole process has been completed to make their gift and to make room for the people to be recognized, which I think poses a spiritual question for us. When is it that we need to make room for others' gifts to shine? That wasn't the first question. Here's question number 1. So listen for it. I know, rabbis, they can't stop talking. The question is, the chiefs of the tribe are bringing carts for the Levites to use in transporting the pieces of the tabernacle, right? The Levites' job was to schlep everything through the desert, so the chiefs of the tribes are bringing the Levites a gift of a cart to help them with the schlepping. Now, there are 3 branches of the Levite families, the Kohathites, the Merarites, and the Gershonites. 2 branches of the Levite families received carts for their work, but the 3rd branch didn't. Why?
V'yazor v'yagin v'yashir l'chol ha'chosim bo v'nomar amen. Hakol avu godel Eloheinu utnu kavod laTorah. Kohen Krav Ya'amod Aryeh ben Shahir HaKohen Baruch Shenatan Torah Le'amo Yisrael B'Kedushato Yatem Avekim Adonai Elohechem Chayim Kulchem Hayom.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Borach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu Melech Ha'olam Asher baka banu mikol ha'amim v'netan lanu et Torato. Baruch et Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayehi beyom kalot Moshe lakim et hamishkan vayimshach oto vaykadesh oto v'kol kelav v'et hamizbeach v'kol kelav vayimshachem vaykadesh otam vayakrivu nesiei Yisrael Roshei bet avotam הם נשיאי המטות, הם העומדים על הפקודים, ויביאו את karbanam lifnei Adonai shet agalatzav ushnei asar bakar agala al shnei hanesiim b'shor lechad v'agrivotam lifnei hamishkan v'yomer Adonai al Moshe lemor kach me'itam v'hayu la'avod et avodat ohel moed natata otam el haleviim ish kefei avodato v'ikach Moshe et hagalot ve'et habakar v'iten otam el haleviim et shtei hagalot ve'et arbat bakar natan lifnei Gershon kefei avodatam ve'et arba hagalot ve'et shmonat habakar natan lifnei Merari kefi avodatam be'ad Itamar ben Aharon hakohen livnei kahat lo natan ki avodat hakodesh alehem bakesef yisa'u v'yakrivu hansi'im et chanukat hamizbeach bayom himashach oto v'yakrivu hansi'im et karbanot livnei hamizbeach v'yomer Adonai al Moshe nasi echad layom yakrivu et karbanam lechanukat hamizbeach.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת האמת וחיי עולם נתן בתוכנו ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
And welcome back to Fred, who visits us every summer. Well, not us, but his family. but we have the honor of having him with us. Oh, he says it's also us. It's also us. Very diplomatic. So what did you come up with? Why does two branches of the Levite family get a cart for the schlepping, but one branch doesn't? Yes, Steve. That is exactly what the Seforno says. He is a medieval Spanish commentator. Said the other two groups are responsible for the outside tents and the poles and the planks, but the really sacred stuff that's used in the rituals is carried by the Kohathites, and they don't want to worry, what if a snake spooks an oxen and they go running off, right, with the most precious objects that the Israelites have, right? Any other thoughts? Then here is question number 2. So the first prince is going to present his gift. Now, his name is Nachshon ben Aminadav. Where have you heard this name before? Why does he get to present the gifts of his tribe first? And is the tribe he is from significant?
יעמוד מתן יעקב בן אברהם ושרה ותעמוד מיכל יהודית בת שמואל יצחק הלוי וציפורה חומה לעלייה הלוי.
Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher barcha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayehi hamakriv bayom harishon et karbono nashon ben aminadav lemate Yehuda bekarbono karak kesev achad shloshim umea mishkala מזרח אחד כסד 70 שקל בשקל הקודש, שניהם מלאים סולד, ולולב השמן למניחה, כך אחד, 10 זכב מעילה קטורת, פר אחד, בן בקר, לך כבשך בשנתו לעילה, זריזים אחד לחטאת, ולזבח השלמים, בקר שניים, אלים 5, תודים 5, כבשים בני שנה 5, זה קרבון נשום בן עמינדב, ביום השני הקריב נתנאל בן צרור, נשיא יששכר, הקריב את קרבנו, קרת כסף אחד, 30 ו100 משקלה, מזרח אחד כסף 70 שקל בשקל הקודש, שניהם מלאים סולד, ולולב השמן למניחה, כך אחד, 10 זכב מלאה קטורת, פר אחד, בן בקר, לך כבשך בשנתו לעילה, זריזים אחד לחטאת, ולזבח השלמים, בקר שניים, אלים 5, תודים 5, כבשים בני שנה 5, זה קרבון נתנאל בן צרור.
אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, בחיי עולם נטע בדרכנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, נותן התורה.
Amen.
So I'm going to offer you a blessing on the occasion of your upcoming wedding. I'll share just a little bit. I got to sit with Ari and Matthew this week and ask them, well, how did the two of you meet? And it wasn't such an auspicious beginning. They were in a master's class together, and they had each recently broken up with someone, and those exes were also in the master's class. So you couldn't think of a more awkward situation to try to start a romance. So they started a friendship instead. And I asked, well, how did it eventually blossom into romance? And they said, well, it kind of crept up on us. And there was an occasion where Matthew was ill, and Ari said, I am a Jewish woman. I know the cure to every disease. I will make you some chicken soup. And that was really the beginning of the romance. And it got to the point where friends noticed the change in energy between them, and they said, we see that you're dating. And they said, yeah, I guess we are. I guess we are in love. So I think it really parallels the journey of Torah in a person's life, that it sneaks up on you gradually. And just when you think you understand it completely, it reveals something completely new and wonderful. So my blessing for you in your marriage is that this sense of unfolding and blossoming and discovering ever deeper and sweeter connection remains true for the course of your life. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov Sarivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yevarech et hachatan Matan Yaakov ben Avraham b'Sara v'Yevarech et hakala Michal Yudit bat Shmuel Yitzchak Halevi v'Tzipora Chuma. May God bless this bride and groom. They're so close to the time of entering the chuppah, the wedding canopy. They've come here today to honor God and Torah and the Sabbath. May God assist them in building a house in Israel. Should you want, children? May love and joy dwell there. Shalom ve'ra'ut, peace and friendship. A bayit where great things happen and much creation. And there should be much love of Torah and good deeds in your home. And you should know many blessings and success. V'nomar Amen. Simon Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simon Tov and Mazel Tov.
I've got my dad.
Simon Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simon Tov.
Wait, we can. No, listen.
are young at heart, or at least still young in the knees, if you could help pick up the sweets before my son gets them all, that would be awesome, because we don't want anyone to trip or slip on them. So we'll just take a moment to pick them up.
Sure you don't want to have all the sugar? Some of it's food.
So, back to that question. Who was not shown? Right, so a midrashic answer to this question is, everyone was waiting for the Sea of Reeds to split, nothing was happening, Moshe was getting a little anxious, the Egyptians are behind them, and Nachshon is brave, and he steps into the waters until they part. So perhaps he earns the right to offer the first gift because he took on such a difficult task. He was first in a moment of crisis. A close read of the text, though, tells us what tribe Nachshon is from. What tribe was he from? All right, now wait a minute, because Jacob had 12 sons. So Reuben was older, and Shimon was older, and Levi was older, and we know that there's a lot of deference for the oldest child, so why does the fourth child, Judah, get to go first? Jacob's blessing, right? And Jacob does this because what was Reuben's sin against his father? Yeah, he went up to his father's couch. His father had a very attractive concubine, and Reuben did not respect boundaries. Shimon and Levi, what were their sins? Violence, yes. Who were they violent against? Shem, people. Their sister was attacked by the prince of Shem, and rather than going through a court of law to seek justice, they slaughtered the entire town. So in a close read of the text, we're reliving that history of Jacob's sons. Judah becomes the lead son, right? He's the one who's righteous with Tamar when he has impregnated her, and she says, you know, you can't burn me at the stake, you're responsible for this too. He's the one who says, you know what, she's more righteous than I. So Judah becomes our namesake and the ancestor of King David and the Messiah. And then there's the historical answer, which is when we were split into two kingdoms, Judah and Benjamin, which kingdom was the most powerful? Okay, so if you get to kind of write history, what would you put at the beginning? So the three answers, midrashic, close read of the text, and historical. The next question is, each tribe offers an identical gift. Why did the Torah take the time to enumerate each gift instead of simply detailing the contents of the gift once and saying each tribe brought the same thing?
Ta'amod Miriam Bat Zisha Alexander La'aliyah Hashlishit.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Voed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Voed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayom hashlishi nasi livnei Zebulun Eliav ben Chelon Karbano karat kesef echad shloshim u'me'ah mishkalav mizrach echad kesef shivim shekel b'shekel hakodesh shnehem meleim solet lulav hashemen lemenicha kach echad asara zachab meliav ketoret par echad ben bakar ben bakar ayel echad keves echad ben shenato leolah zirizim echad lechatat ulezevach lashlamim bakar shanayim elim hamisha tudim hamisha kevesim b'nei shana hamisha zeh karbon eliav ben chelon vayom charevi'i nasi livnei Reuven Elizur ben Shedeur Karbano karat kesef echad
Shloshim Umea Mishkala Mizrach Echad Kesef Shivim Shekel B'Shekel HaKodesh Shnehem Leim Solet Lulav Hashem and Lemicha Kach Echad Asar Azachav Meliach Ketoret Par Echad Ben Bakar Ayil Echad Keves Echad B'Shanato Leolah Zirizim Echad Lechatat Ula Zeva Chashlamim Bakar Shanayim Elim Hamisha, Tudim Hamisha, Kevashim B'nei Shanaz Hamisha, Ze Karbon Elisur Ben Shideur.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chai olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Yeah, you're fine. Miriam is turning 80 or just turned
Wednesday.
Last Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right. Let me offer you a blessing.
Thank you.
Miriam bat
Zisha.
Alexander.
He didn't have a real Hebrew name, so they put Alexander in with Zisha.
Aha. Sha'alta hayom likvod hamakom v'likvod Torah v'likvod Shabbat. May God bless Miriam, who has come here in honor of the Sabbath and Torah and God. Ulahodot al kol hachasidim asher gamala Elohim miyom hivlada ad hayom hazeh. To thank God for all the kindnesses that have been done in her life between the day of her birth and now. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmor ota v'et kol mishpachta. God should bless you and your whole family. Yishlach bracha v'chatzlacha b'chol ma'aseh yedeha. And God should give you much success in all that you do. Im kol Yisrael acheya, among Israel, your fellow people. V'nomar amen.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet
Sameach.
Yom Huledet Sameach.
And this has been our shul for 37 years.
Wow. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
All right. So the question was, if they're all bringing identical gifts, why do we bother to say it 12 times? What did you think of? Yes. They had a gift committee coordinator. I think to some extent it's important that they all show up with the same gift, because you don't want to say that one tribe is more important than another. Probably Moshe and Aaron gave them a hint about what might be useful. Sure. Whether you're this successful corporate lawyer or in the humblest of professions, we still want you to offer the gift of being an ethical person, for example. Sure. Yes, John. So John says it's not just about the gift that counts, but it's the significance of the giver. And that's what the Lubavitcher Rebbe does with this verse. He said that the verb used to give in giving the gifts was lakriv, to draw close. And the point of giving the gifts is that each of us should draw close to God in our own way. So the gift might be the same, but the giver and the experience that the giver has is unique. Here is your next question. Why is there a mixture of objects and animals as gifts? Why not just the precious metals or just animals to be sacrificed?
I realized I've been a little remiss in my duties. The fifth aliyah is fourth aliyah. Fourth aliyah?
Yeah.
Fourth aliyah is chapter 7, verses 36 through 47, beginning on page 808. Ya'amod Shmuel Yitzchak ben Yehuda Dov Alevi v'ta'amod Tzipor Chuma bat Tzvi v'Sara Leah le'aliyah haravi'it.
Baruch Hu es Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam. Asher Bocha Bonu Mikol Ha'amim. V'nosan Lanu Es Toraso. Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayom Chachamishi Nasi Livnei Shimon Shalumiel ben Suri Shaddai Karbano Karakesev Achad Shloshim Umea Mishkala Mizrach Echad Kesev Shivim Shekel B'Shekel HaKodesh Shneichem Mileim Solep Lulav Hashem and Lemincha Kach Echad Asaraz Echad Me'el HaKetoret Par Echad Ben Bakar Ay Lechad Kevas Echad B'Shanato Le'olah Zirizim Echad Lechatat Ulazeva Chashlami Bakar Shanaim Elim Chamisha Tudim Hamisha Kevasim B'nei Shana Chamisha Zeh Karbon Shalumiel Ben Suri Shaddai Vayom Hashishi Nasi Livnei Gad El Yasaf Ben Deuel Karbano Karakesev Achad Shloshim Umea Mishkala Mizrach Echad Kesef Shivim Shekel B'Shekel HaKodesh Shneichem Leim Solep Lulav Hashem and Lemincha Kach Echad Asaraz Echad Melech HaKetoret Par Echad Ben Bakar Ay Lechad Kevas Echad B'Shanato Le'olah Zirizim Echad Lechatat Ulazeva Chashlami Bakar Shanaim Elim Hamisha Tudim Hamisha Kevasim B'nei Shana Chamisha Zer Karbon El Yosaf Ben Deuel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nosan lanu Torah emes v'chayei olam tata b'sochenu. Baruch atah Adonai nosein HaTorah.
Amen.
All right. Animals, precious metals, why a mixture? Earl. Oh, you're just saying hello. Does someone have something they'd like to say? An insight, perhaps? Yes, Cliff. The people needed. Very nice. Very nice. Any other thoughts? Ooh, yes. So you're leading into my next question, which is great. You're anticipating, because I wanted to get at the numbers being significant. I have a few suggestions to share. One is that the metal objects are very beautiful, and that's something that helps us feel a sense of reverence in a worship space. And the animals are for God, right? They are burned up, they go up in smoke. So some of the gifts are for us to feel connected, and some of the gifts are for God to feel connected. The other idea here is permanent versus ephemeral. Those metal objects, they're going to last for a while. The animal gifts, not so long. And I think that the same is true in worship today. There are some things that are eternal in our prayers, like the Shema and the Amidah, but our role, our opportunity to offer those prayers to God is ephemeral. It's fleeting. So we see this mixture in the gifts of those ideas. And then to Carol's point, there are different numbers given for the animals, and are these numbers significant? There is no detail in the Torah that is not significant. So I wanted to focus on the ascent offering. It says you give a bull, a ram, and a lamb. 3 animals. Why 3? And one thing that could help you consider why 3 is, well, what else do we have 3 of in Judaism?
Yeah, no, I'm talking only this. Ya'amod Yitzhak ben Pinchas l'Aliyah Chamishit. The 5th Aliyah is chapter 7, verses 48 through 59, page 809.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Yivarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bocha banu mikol ha'amim, v'notan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayom hashvi nasi livnei Ephraim, Elishama ben Amihud, Karbano karat kesev echad, shloshim u'me'ah mishkala, mizrach echad kesev shivim shekel v'shekel hakodesh, shnehem leim so lebelulav Hashem and lemincha, kach echad asaraz echad mle'ah ketoret, par echad ben bakar, ayil echad keves echad b'shenato le'olah, zirizim echad lechatat ulezevach lashlamim bakar shanayim, elim chamisha, tudim hamisha, kevesim b'nei shana chamisha, ze karbon elishama ben amihud, bayom hashmini nasi livnei menashe, Gamliel ben Pedatsur, Karbanon, Karat Kesev Echad, Shloshim U'me'ah Mishkala, Mizrach Echad Kesev, Shivim Shekel, B'Shekel HaKodesh, Shnehem Leim, Solep, Belulav Hashem, and Lemincha, Kach Echad, Asaraz Echad, Mliach Ketoret, Par Echad, Ben Bakar, Ayil Echad, Keves Echad, B'Shenato Leolah, Zirizim Echad Lechatat, Ulezevach Hashlamim, Bakar Shanayim, Elim Hamisha, Tudim Hamisha, Kevasim B'nei Shana, Temimim Hamisha, Ze Karbon Gamliel Ben Pedatsur.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher notan lanu Torat emet, Chaye olam notah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
All right, what do we have 3 of in Judaism? Threes in Judaism. Yes, Laura. Ah, the 3 pillars of Judaism. Yes. Yes. And I heard behind me 3 patriarchs. Yes. 3 pilgrimage festivals. Kohen, Levi, Israelite. So there are many answers to why did they offer 3. But Carol was correct to say there must be significance in these numbers, and there is. All right, I lost my... Did I leave it there? Yes. I know, I don't have this one memorized. our next question is, why a bowl and a basin? I mean, really, isn't that a little extravagant? One wasn't enough. Why a bowl and a basin? What is the purpose of each object? That might help you figure it out. How is each object used? Go ahead.
Ya'amod, Ariel ben Avram Basara Aliyah Hashishit. The sixth Aliyah is chapter 7, verses 60 through 71, beginning on toward the bottom of page 809.
Baruch et Adonai Amvorah.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher barach banu mikol ha'amim. V'naten lanu et Torto. Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayom ha'teshi nasi livnei Binyamin. Avidan ben Gidoni. Karbano karat kesef achad shloshim u'me'ah mishkala mizrach echad kesef shivim shekel b'shekel hakodesh shnechem leim soleh b'lulav Hashem and lemincha kach echad asher azachav me'ah ketoret par echad ben bakar ayil echad keves echad ben shenato le'olah zirizim echad lechatat u'lezeva echad shlamim Bakar Shanayim, Elim Hamisha, Tudim Hamisha, Kevasim B'nai Shana Hamisha, Zeh Karbon Avidan Ben Gidoni, Bayom HaAsiri, Nasi Livnei Dan, Echiezer Ben Amishadai, Karbanon, Karat Kesev Achad, Shloshim Umeah, Mishkala, Mizrach Echad, Kesev Shivim Shekel, B'Shekel HaKodesh, Shnechem Leim, Soleh B'Lulav Hashem and Lemincha, Kach Echad, Asher Hazachav Me'ah Ketoret, Par Echad Ben Bakar, Ayil Echad Keves Echad B'Shinato Le'olah, Zirizim Echad Lechatat, Ulezeva Echad Shlamim, Bakar Shanayim, Elim Hamisha, Tudim Hamisha, Kevasim B'nai Shana Hamisha, Zeh Karbon Echiezer Ben Amishadai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chai olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
All right, the bowl and the basin. What are they used for? Catch the blood. Yeah. Actually, on the fire. They're used for, the bowl is used to mix the dry ingredients to make the dough for the showbreads. And the basin is used for wet ingredients like oil and wine and water. So bringing the bowl and the basin is a foreshadowing of the loss of the temple and the need to establish our own small sanctuaries everywhere, specifically on Shabbat. We recreate the bowl and the basin on our Shabbos tables. We have cups of wine and we have loaves of bread, which is an echo of what happened on the altar. So part of the message in these gifts is an eternal sense of hope and an eternal sense of the ability to connect to the divine. In this next aliyah, the seventh aliyah, why is the word voice used here? Moses hears a voice coming from between the cherubim at the ark. He didn't hear a sound. It wasn't that God spoke. It specifically uses the word voice. And a hint might be, where else did Moses hear a voice?
Ya'amod David Noach ben Aryeh v'Yona Leah la'aliyah hashvi'it. The seventh Aliyah is chapter 7, verses 72 through 89, beginning on page 810.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Barak Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Bayom Ashtesar Yom Nasi Livnei Asher Pagiel Ben Achran Karbano Karat Kesef Achad Shloshim Umeah Mishkala Mizrak Echad Kesef Shivim Shekel B'Shekel HaKodesh Shnehem Maleim Solet L'Lav Hashemen L'Mincha Kaf Achad Asara Zahav Melea Ketoret Par Echad Ben Bakar Ayil Echad Keves Echad Ben Shinato Le'olah Sir Izim Echad Lechatat V'lezevach Hashlamim Bakar Shnayim Elim Chamisha Atudim Chamisha Kivasim Ben Shana Chamisha Ze Karban Pagiel Ben Achran Bayom Shnei Masar Yom Nasi Livnei Naftali Achira Ben Enan Karbano Karat Kesef Achad Shloshim Umeah Mishkala Mizrak Echad Kesef Shivim Shekel B'Shekel HaKodesh Shnehem Maleim Solet L'Lav Hashemen L'Mincha Kaf Achad Asara Zahav Melea Ketoret Par Echad Ben Bakar Ayil Echad Keves Echad Ben Shinato Le'olah Sir Yizim Echad Lechatat L'Zevach Hashlamim Bakar Shenayim Elim Chamisha Atudim Chamisha Kivasim B'nei Shana Chamisha Ze Karban Achira Ben Enan Zod Chanukat HaMizbeach Vayom Yimashach Oto Meit Nesiei Yisrael Karot Kestef Shnei Mesrei Mizrakei Chesef Shnei Masar Kapot Zahav Shnei Mesrei Shloshim Umeah Hakara Chad Kesef B'Shivim HaMisrak HaEchad Kol Kesef HaKelim Alpayim Varba Me'od B'Shekel HaKodesh Kapot Zahav Shtei Mesrei Meleod Ketoret Asara Hakaf B'Shekel HaKodesh Kol Zahav HaKapot Esri Umeah Babakar La'olah Shneim Eser Parim Elim Shishim Shneim Asar Kvasim Meneshana Shneim Esrei Asar Minchatam Sirei Izim Shanim Shneim Asar Lechatat V'chol Bakar Zevach Hashlamim Esrim Varba'a Parim Elim Shishim Atudim Shishim Kivasim B'nei Shana Shishim Zod Chanukat HaMizbeach Acharei Himashach Oto V'vavo Moshe Elohem Ha'el L'daber Ito V'yishmat HaKol L'daber Elav Me'al HaKaporet Asher Al Harod Ha'edud Miben Shnei HaKruvim V'ydaber Elav.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaim olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
So where else was this voice heard? Yes, Jerry. Actually not. In the bush, it says, and God spoke to Moses. It doesn't use the word voice. But I thought so too when I was researching. Yes. Pardon? Well, he spoke, but this word call or voice wasn't used there either. Where did Moses have his pinnacle experience?
Burning bush.
Sinai. Sinai receiving the Torah, the word kol is used a few times. And it's used again here in the sanctuary. Because perhaps the thought was, how could anything be great after Sinai? You know, that was a pinnacle experience. And here, in our little sanctuary that people have built, how can we recreate that feeling? So the hint from using the same noun is to say, yes, actually you will have divine experiences in your ordinary little man-built sanctuary. And I think it's a good spiritual message for us because we too have known events or days that were heights of emotional and spiritual intensity. And sometimes there's a concern, how do we return to our ordinary lives? And the answer is, well, yes. You can find the voice in the everyday actions of that first sip of coffee or noticing that a rose has opened. The voice is everywhere. So don't fear if you've gone past a pinnacle experience. There's more yet to come.